This is where many developers get stuck. It creates a quiet internal conflict. You are inside the industry, yet still outside your dream. How to move toward the studio, the project, and the experiences you actually want to be part of. There are only two real ways to move into the direction of projects you dream about. That realization changed everything for me. When you do this, something powerful happens. Let me start by widening the conversation because this challenge is bigger than it looks. When we talk about becoming a game developer, we usually focus on one very visible struggle. The people who are outside the gaming industry, the ones working other jobs in other fields, trying to break in, submitting applications, building portfolios at night, learning engines after work, hoping to get that first opportunity that lets them finally say, I work in games. That struggle is real and it deserves respect, but it is not the only challenge. There's another group we talk about far less, even though it might be just as common. These are the people who actually make it into the gaming industry. Yeah, bear with me. They get the job, the contract, the internship, the title. From the outside, it looks like a success. Friends congratulate them, LinkedIn posted get likes, years of effort seem validated. The goal they chased for so long appears to be achieved. And yet, when they slow down and are honest with themselves, they realize something uncomfortable. They are in the industry, but not in the place they dreamed about. Not in the studio they admired. Not in the project that inspired them to start learning game development. Not creating the kind of experiences that made them fall in love with games in the first place. And that realization is heavy, because it could be very similar to having a job that you don't like, which in many cases take you to the first step, because it creates a quiet internal conflict. On one side, there is gratitude. You're getting paid, you're learning tools, you are officially part of the industry. On the other side, there is a growing feeling that something is missing, that this is not where you wanted to end up. You are inside the industry, yet still outside your dream. This is where many developers get stuck. They tell themselves that this is just part of the process, that everything has to go through this stage, that if they wait long enough, the right project will eventually come. But time does not create direction, action does. If you are not actively moving toward the kind of projects you want to work on, time will not fix this tension. Time will only make your current situation more comfortable, and comfort, when it replaces intention, slowly turns into frustration. So the real question is not how to survive where you are today. The real question is how to move toward the studio, the project, and the experiences you actually want to be part of. And it applies if you have a job in the industry or outside the industry. This is the Game Creator Accelerator channel, and I am Tony Munoz. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and ring the bell so you don't miss new technical tutorials and strategies to set your mind as a successful game developer. And visit Woolen.com to learn more about our lifetime mentorship program to help you transition into the gaming industry with a steady and consistent pace after office hours. Now let us talk about the path forward. There are only two real ways to move into the direction of projects you dream about. The first path is to get hired by a studio that already creates a kind of games you want to build. It could be an indie studio, it could be a A team or a AA or a AAA company. The size does not matter. The budget does not matter. What matters is the type of experience you are creating and the skills you are developing. The second path is to build your own space as an independent game developer. Not as a side hobby, not as a small safe prototype, but as a serious long-term project. The game you always wanted to make, the one you kept postponing because it felt too big. What most people do not realize is that these two paths are not opposites. They are powered by the same strategy. Both paths are about building independence. Independence does not mean quitting your job or rejecting studios. Independent means removing fear from your career. Fear of layoffs, fear of being replaced, fear of starting over with nothing if something goes wrong. When your entire value as a developer depends on one studio, one role, or one project, you are fragile. But when you are actively building something meaningful on your own, even slowly, your mindset changes. You stop asking whether you are good enough to be kept. You start asking whether an opportunity aligns with who you are becoming. That shift changes everything. Now let me share a moment from my own career where this became very real for me. There was a time when I was in the middle of transitioning from Unity to Unreal. I had discovered Unreal, and for several months I was exploring it full-time, testing systems, understanding workflows, being genuinely amazed by its potential. It felt aligned with the kind of games I wanted to build in the long term. Then something interesting happened. I got an opportunity from Meta. I went through the interviews, I passed them, I was selected, I received the offer. At the same time, another opportunity appeared. A smaller company, but working on a project with a AAA level budget. The key difference was not the size of the company or the prestige. The difference was the direction. This second company was planning to work exclusively in Unreal in the genre I was aiming for, while Meta was planning to work in Unity and VR. If I had accepted the Meta offer, I would probably have had a more stable job, at least for some time. But I also knew something deep down. I would be working on something I did not truly want to build. Not in the engine I wanted to master, not in the direction I wanted my career to grow. So I made a decision. I chose the second company. During that time, I learned Unreal fast, very fast. Not because someone forced me to, but because I was aligned with the direction I wanted to take. I was growing exactly in a space I cared about, and that made me genuinely happy as a developer. But here's the part that matters. If that second offer had not existed, I could have taken the Meta job and still built my Unreal path on the side. I could have designed a plan. I could have protected my long-term direction while earning income in the short term. The real problem was not Unity or Unreal. The real problem was my mindset at the time. I was too focused on finding a job, not focused enough on building independence. And the reality is that later on I was part of another layoff with that second company because they were cutting funding. And in the division where I would have worked at Meta, there were also massive layoffs later. Different paths, same outcome. That was the moment I truly understood something. You are the only person in control of the games you build, the skills you grow, and the career you design. That realization changed everything for me. That is when the transformation really started. When I decided I was going to create the games I wanted to create in 3D using Unreal. Not because a company told me to, not because the market demanded it, but because it was the path I chose. This is why everything I teach is built around two pillars: create and build something meaningful. Learn in the process, let the project take time, and share. Document the journey, show progress, leave proof of your evolution. When you do this, something powerful happens. You attract the right studios, the right projects, the right opportunities. And even if the industry shifts, your direction does not disappear. That is real stability. And if you stay consistent with yourself and with the path you choose, you will end up working on the projects you dreamed about with the studios you always wanted. Because in the end, that studio becomes the one you built. Inside the Game Creator Accelerator Lifetime Mentorship, I help developers build exactly this path. From learning Unreal from scratch, to creating real gameplay systems, to building a visible presence that attracts the kind of opportunities you actually want, from jobs to your independence. If you want to learn more, visit woolen.com. Check the details of the mentorship and set a time to chat with me one-on-one. We will talk about where you are today, where you want to go, and whether the GCA is the right fit for you. If this video inspired you, like, subscribe, share with someone who needs to hear this, and leave a comment below. And don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss new Unreal tutorials and career path strategies. And make sure to watch the next video on the channel, where I break down in depth how to strategically position yourself in the gaming industry. Until next time, keep creating, keep sharing, and most importantly, keep dreaming big. I'll see you soon, my fellow creators.